Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome all of you in our fourth day of our lecture series, Enlightening Education. Yesterday, we saw the journey of a teacher from motivation to dynamism. And to execute that journey, at each point, it is necessary to evaluate yourself that whether that journey is going on the right path or not. And to speak on the same topic, that is the self-evaluation of a teacher, we have today with us Manoj Rao Devlekar. So I now request Saugandha Dada Deshmukh of Jnana Prabodhini introduce Manoj Rao Devlekar. Saugandha Dada.
Thank you, Shubhankar. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to introduce my teacher and mentor, Honorable Manoj Rao Devlekar sir, in front of all of you. Mr. Manoj Rao is an alumni of Jnana Prabodhini Prashala. After completing his BSc, here he decided to dedicate his all efforts in sports education. He has completed B.Ed and M.Ed in physical education. He himself is a pole vault player and also teaches maths. Right now, he is a member of Jnana Prabodhini's Executive Council. He is also the center head of Jnana Prabodhini Nigdi and principal of Jnana Prabodhini Navanagar Vidyalaya. With his keen interest in sports and an ambition of building India as a sports superpower, he started his experiment of Kridakul in 1998. Kridakul is a school with an integrated approach to promote sports in India. The approach consists of integrating the coaching efforts with Ayurveda and psychology. He has played a key role in organizing competitions at state and national level. For his tireless contribution over 30 years in sports education, he has been conferred with many awards and recognitions from various prestigious organizations. Today, he will be guiding us through the need and process of self-evaluation for a teacher. Teaching is a noble profession, we say. It is noble because it is a profession where your whole personality is transformed and absorbed by the students. A good teacher is one who continuously evaluates his methods, his outputs, and along with it, his behavior too. Manoj Rao will guide us through this process of sharing by sharing his own example as a teacher and as a mentor. With this short introduction, now I request Manoj Rao Devlekar to begin with his guidance on the topic. Mr. Manoj Rao.
Namaskar, everyone. The topic for evaluation. I think we are all actually expert in evaluation. But we practice this skill for our students a lot, and sometimes for the systems and the organizational, all experts and all our dignitaries. We try to evaluate them. We try to evaluate the processes. We try to evaluate what is happening around us. But I think we must be aware that to work in society, and that too in the field of education, we must evaluate ourselves. That is a must, I think. And in 21st century, and that too, we have been reminded by Corona that every day the scenario inside the school and outside the school will be different. It will be continuously changing. So we need to inspect, introspect, evaluate ourselves. I think that is most important. My views about the education, and I think you all must be with me, that education has been restricted towards books and the content in the subjects because of the rat race everywhere. These competition, these exams and entrance exams and all those things, and pursuing all those exams and all those things, sometimes I'm using this word very carefully. sometimes we forget, are we teachers or are we educators? We are a part of education system of the society. I don't want to recollect or talk on the philosophy of education, but I think going towards self-introspection or self-evaluation, we should first think, what is our objective? And since we are working in the field of education, we should remind ourselves, what is education? I don't want to go to any definition in depth. We all have pursued this. We all have learned by heart and reproduced it in the exams. And then we are here to teach the students. But go to those back days when we were in our education colleges, professional degree we were having. And that time we were very motivated and very excited with whatever the philosophy and what are the meanings of education and what a noble profession we are going into. So we all were inspired and we were very eager to enter the school. We have learned all these definitions. By education, I mean all round drawing out of the best in the child and man, body, mind, and spirit. Definition by Mahatma Gandhi. Definition by Vivekananda. I think many of us are practitioners of Vivekananda's thought. So education means the manifestation of divine perfection already existing in man. If I say that just think of what perfection every day, if I ask, what have you practiced yesterday of this divinity and this perfection? I think we'll come down to, yes, I tried to perfect some sums, some grammar of the child, some correction in the definition of science. If a sports teacher like me to perfect his skills. So let me just make you aware that we started from philosophy, but we ended in very limited meaning of this education. So I think by today's self-evaluation, if we can remind ourselves, yes, what was our noble profession? What is our noble profession and what we are practicing and what we should try to add in our day-to-day practice? I think that today's objective of the organizers will be fulfilled. And with that objective, I think we all should think, share our experiences. That is what I expect. Next slide, please. See, in short, again, we end up with all-round development of the individual. Again, skills and values and benefits and habits and all those things, habit formation and behavioral development, all these things but do we practice all those things daily? That is the question. And how we should reach to all these noble objectives of education, I think that is the point to be discussed. We definitely say that all-round development means physical, intellectual, mental, social, spiritual. But sometimes we limit ourselves to intellectual development through whatever subjects we teach. We forget to connect how to use that developed knowledge in the subject, various intellectual abilities while learning that subject to the day-to-day experiences, to the problems of society. to the higher development of personality, means behavioral characteristic development of oneself, and nevertheless spiritual development of individual. So I think that connect we should try to search every day, every night, when we are thinking of our whole day's work and whatever we have done throughout the day. So I think apart from just content learning and teaching, we should think of our noble profession in a large this perspective. Next slide, please. See, we have as the time has developed, the definition, or we might say the role, have been changed. We started with a teacher, but I think we all know this philosophy behind these changes. We all know this philosophy behind changes. So teacher is one, it is related to more or less training. And we have learned in our philosophy lecture that training is given to animals. So we defined education as our role as educator. So we should educate. Then that is also again the limited role. So we said that it should be mentoring, because the relationship, individual relationship with the student, with the kid, is important to transform him, to educate him. And that's why we cannot teach benches or the walls in the classroom. We have to teach the kids. So that connection is, that role is been defined through the word mentor. Again, as the explosion of knowledge, and nowadays all these information technologies and all the technologies are being developed. So just imparting the knowledge and developing the skills is very limited in the time being, whatever we come across the students in the school. So we said that now the teacher should be facilitator. He should work as a facilitator. That learning happens in oneself, and we should just excel that process of learning, and that was defined as facilitator. Again, as the explosion of all skills and all these knowledge is now, after changing the scenario and all the social environment, the students are getting information, knowledge and guidance from many things, He can have many mentors at a time. So then again, what is the key role? What is the key role of the teacher in the school? Then we said that he should be motivator, motivating him towards learning, towards drawing whatever the divine potential is within him, is the basic role of the teacher. So this way, I think the changing role of the teacher, we are well aware. So now let's see what are the objectives needed. So as I said, the things are changing, the teaching style, the school environment, the learning teaching processes, the techniques, the technologies, all things are changing. And if we want to cope up with the changes in the society, we need to change ourselves also. And to change ourselves, we must evaluate, introspect ourselves. That is the need of the time. And that too in a present scenario where the change of the speed is maximum, very high speed of the change is there. And that's why we need to introspect, evaluate ourselves frequently. So what is our performance? So what is the quality of work we do? That might be the lecture which we are imparting in the classroom. So imparting the lecture is not important. What is the outcome of it? Are students getting enlightened? Are students getting knowledge out of it? Are they paying attention? Am I making them friend of the subject? Do they like the subject because of whatever I am teaching to him, conveying information and experiences to him? So that is what I mean by quality of work. And that should be checked frequently. See, just delivering the knowledge, even the technology can do, but technology cannot check what the transformation has been there in the individual. And I think we can check that. And therefore, never technology will replace teacher. And again, as I said, there is explosion of sciences, explosion of subjects, explosion of knowledge, explosion of everything. And the environment and the scenario is also changing. So our efficiency, our skills of imparting the knowledge and motivating the students should also get changed. And I think it's a mankind that whenever there is a challenge, where there is a problem, we try to bring out best in ourselves and we get the solution. So when we go for search for solutions, we definitely get the solution. And that's why this change, that from far long distance, we are able to connect each other and we are sharing our thoughts and experiences. So that way, we should be efficient in all the skills required for our profession. We should be able to find our strengths and weaknesses. So that is what is the objective of this self-evaluation. In enhancing the teaching learning processes, as I said, that it's very difficult to conduct a lesson on Zoom. So that is now newly technique which we all has to acquire, and we have done it. Everybody has learned how to conduct lessons digitally. We are using information on the net and all those things. So we are improving our skills and adopting the technology. See, again, doing all those things, apart from our routine responsibilities which we are given, we need to assess what were my objectives apart from day-to-day work. As we entered in this profession, I think we all know that philosophy, that whatever the dreams which we couldn't achieve, we try to make complete through our students. So when I studied the professional degrees of sports, that BPEd and MPEd, all those things, I found that it's more challenging. It's a multidisciplinary activity. To prepare one athlete, you must be aware of basic philosophy, physiology, biology, physics, sports training sciences. So you need to have basic knowledge of all the sciences. So I felt that it's a challenging job and no one is doing that. So why not I? So I started working, and with the day-to-day work after 10 years of my practice. So whenever I was given the responsibilities in my school, I always thought, yes, I have some dream. So apart from regular working in the school, I started conducting coaching classes in the morning, in the evening, and I started getting results at district level and state level. And after 10 years, I asked my principal, late Mr. Dr. V.N. Abhyankar, I asked him that why not I can arrange a school for sports persons? He said, where are such schools? Then as per my study, I said that yes, Sports Authority of India has such type of schools. These are the centers. I have visited those centers. In Maharashtra, there were few centers at Nashik and Pachgani. So I had studied that time, and I told him that yes, for bringing out national champions, you need separate regimentation, we would say, of players. So it's not that from school timings of 30 minutes and 40 minutes, you can develop champions. So he permitted me and he said, yes, give me in writing. I wanted to share that one must have passion, that what I have to do in my subject, for my school, for my students, and for my society. Now, what are the tools to evaluate? We were talking about the objectives of evaluation. Now, let's see, just quickly review what are the tools for evaluation. I think everybody know, because evaluation is one of the key area where we work for student. So similar we can apply to, it can be self-evaluation. I think daily planning and diary writing is the basic self-evaluation or self-appraisal. I think we teach all those things to students. Even we can also adopt those things, that planning in detail for the day, and at the end of day, yes, to review it and what we achieved, not just completion of the work, but did we achieve what we had planned? So that review is, I think, self-evaluation. There are other, apart from self-evaluation, your principal, your supervisor, your colleagues, they are all watching. You are having discussions about the activities in the schools. And I think if we are aware what others are thinking about us, my work, our work, that is what I feel is again the assessment only. And we should accept it very joyfully, friendly, and very sportively. See, the comments or the thoughts or the comments given in the meetings and all those things, one should accept them. We should take note of it. And I think that is what is assessment from the peers or the seniors. So that is also one of the tool for assessment. I think the most assessment of a teacher is the responses given by the student. I think that is the most tool. What is our image in the minds of student? In every I'll say aspect, what values we practice, how we are with them, are we friendly to them, or always we are just giving them lectures and that type of, are we updated? Students are judging us each and every moment, and I think that should be keenly noted. That is the most important evaluation, I'll say. Similarly, parents are there. Sometimes you can have other, I think these are also the tools for your evaluation. How you participate in society. Society means, I would like to say, in educational scenario. Are you invited in other schools for lectures? Are you asked to deliver lectures? Are you asked to participate in seminars and present the paper? So I think that is also evaluation. One should keep note of it. if we work something differently, some achievable things which we are doing, definitely others would like to listen to us. And I think that is one of the tools that we should handle. Now let's come to concrete our work. So what is our work, or what is our duty? I would say we started with the definition of education. So what are the areas of work which we have to complete in the school? So we work as a subject teacher. We have to work as a class teacher. We have to work as a member of some department. See, every school has, I think, two type of, one is administrative responsibilities and others are content and subject enriching all responsibilities. So administration departments are also there. There is a cultural department, there is a sports department, there is a discipline department. And apart from your role as a subject teacher and a class teacher, you have to shoulder some of these administrative, and they are not only administrative. See how discipline can be an administrative department. Discipline is a value which we have to inculcate, and we don't find, and that's why we find that Indian society is indisciplined, because we haven't thought seriously how to cultivate this value in schools. That's my humble thought. 10 years before in Maharashtra, there was MCC on the basis of NCC. NCC, we know, National Cadet Corps. So on the same basis, in each and every school for 9th standard student, we had a scheme called MCC, Maharashtra Cadet Corps. And I was very happy that many of the teachers has to conduct those activities of MCC. But I also conducted those activities for at least 4 to 5 years. And I remember that before to that, whatever the school environment regarding the discipline was there, was transformed after these 4 years of MCC conducting in the school. So such a huge activity for this basic discipline should be there. So I don't say that that discipline department is just an administrative department. It is a so in every department you will find that apart from textbook, whatever we define as education, for that only all these departments are there. We say that we run co-curricular activities through these departments. So they are educational activities only. So shouldering those responsibilities is also our work. Apart from that, now there are subject committees in school, that all science teacher, where the number of classes are more, there are 4, 5, 6 subject teachers. They sit together and they have to think about their subject. So what they want to, how they want to conduct the classes, what will be the techniques and teaching methods they will be using, what new things apart from the given curriculum they will conduct this year, which competitions and what extra will be done for the gifted, or I'll say those who are good in those subjects. So those good students, what we are going to do, what should be done for those who are lagging behind in the subject, those who are below average, as we say. So that all should be decided in this subject committee. So there are some partners of subjects in our school, and with help of them, we should design all those things. So again, apart from just my teaching for my classes, we have to think as a whole, school as a whole, for that subject. And for that, these subject committees are very much important, I feel. Again, apart from that, every institute is having some different and novel objectives for starting those institutes. So they are having their special, we'll say, objectives for running the schools and working for them, because we are a member of that organization. It cannot be separately. Once we accept the profession of teaching in their environment, the objectives of the organizations should also be fulfilled. See, in Jnana Prabodhini, we say that we want to develop leadership. Now, if we think of just subjects and running the school, where does that leadership comes? I know we have those prefect and house systems in each and every class. We can teach leadership to the students through those activities, but it is not mentioned. It is not compulsory part of board exam and of the school exam also, that leadership activity should be conducted. But if the school, which organization is running that school, has such type of, you have to adapt to those objectives, you have to work for those objectives. So I think these many areas, if we fulfill, I think what we were discussing in the start, the holistic approach, the all-round development of the student, I think we will work on those lines. So what exactly work we have to do? So this content development, planning, delivering lectures, evaluating them, all those things we have to do. So exploring new techniques and teaching methods, keeping ourselves updated is all the thing which we have to do. We have to interact in numbers with students, parents, as well as personally we have to interact with students and parents. So that is one of our profile. Whatever tasks are being given for, as I said, you have to work for the school. You cannot separate yourself from the organization and from the school itself. There are sometimes the requirements of organization also. Suppose you are asked that some new physical infrastructural development is there in the school. You have to shoulder the fundraising motion, whatever is going in your organization. I think that is again also what one has to do. So such type of work we have to do in our. Let's see what characteristics a teacher should have. So I think characteristics means your qualities, different qualities, because of which you are known differently. So personality is one basic thing. I don't want to go into definition, but yes, every teacher, every individual has his personality. But we should think that, do I have the personality of a teacher? Am I friendly? Am I open to everybody for sharing and discussing and listening? So personality of a teacher one should have. And qualities, we have a lot of lists of quality of teachers. And competencies, whatever are required. Delivering a lecture is a basic competency. Nowadays, all digital competencies, what we required is a must. Knowledge, what is happening. So these are all the things which one should have. Because of these qualities, you will have your personality as a teacher. I think everybody can list such type of things, qualities of a teacher, what qualities. So a list each one can make. I have just made few things over here. Expert in communication skill, superior in listening skills, deep knowledge and passion about the subject content, ability to build caring relationship with students, friendliness and approachability. So all these qualities one teacher should have. You will wonder with this experience. We had a good PTA, very strong PTA in our school. And in Corona, we are running many activities. It's a recent activity. A month before, at the end of June, we are having many activities of bicycle excursion and all those things with parents. And recently, I had an excursion of 200 parents and students together to our nearby school, 20 kilometers away from our school. Sunday morning, we collected everyone, and yes, we'll have a just a bike ride and cycle ride. And so such activities are there. I wanted to quote my experience of which I was not expecting the result. Our PTA has decided that every month end will show some documentary or some educational or social problem provoking some film. We'll watch it together on the Zoom. And at the end of June month, we showed them a Marathi documentary. It was named Kachra Kundi. So it was regarding the hectic life and we'll say shameful for us, not for them, but how they live, all these workers who work for us for cleaning the cities and those who work in manholes and all these gutters. And so it is on their life and how they are exploited by the, we'll say, brokers and all these politicians and all those chains. It's a very fantastic movie. And you will wonder, Saturday night at 9 we started. The movie is about just 70 minutes. And 335 families were watching the movie. Parents, students, together, they were watching at their home. We showed this movie through Zoom. And the discussion after that was going from 10:10 to 11:30. Many of the students spoke that we didn't know what the scenario, what is happening around us, what the slavery is, and still this slavery is there. So there was lots of discussion. And few days after, means 10 days before, I came to know that some of our parents has filed a complaint to commissioner that in our PCMC, that corporation which our city belongs to that commissioner, one of our parent has written letter. He said that in our municipal commission in also area also, the broker is there, whatever the their remuneration is expected, they don't get that much, and they get only 10 to 15%. The commissioner took cognizance of this complaint, and there was action on those thekedar, the contractors, that it was given. And I got this message from one of the officer from PCMC. So what the things, what we are saying, that these extracurricular activities are, I don't need say that shall this be an extracurricular or this will be educational activity. More important, as just one colleague said, that it's more important than what subjects we are teaching. So it is my personal experience in last month. So from subject teaching to different departments and committees in the school, we went to extracurricular activities. Does our responsibility complete over there? I don't think so. As we teach our students that education and learning is a continuous process, do we do that for ourselves? Do we continuously learn? years before, the same content and same method you are doing. And apart from subject, many new, as I said, that information, knowledge, and new sciences, every day there is explosion. Are we collecting those things? Are we developing our thinking process? I think research is the way to develop our own thinking process, to come to some conclusion. Whatever the practices we have done, we should write over it, we should rethink over it, and we should hand it over to society that yes, this way the education should be done. So our thinking, our learning, I think that is the last point I would like to share. So for that, publishing, writing an articles, publishing the articles, and as I quoted one activity, I won't say it's a social activity. I say that it's my responsibility that whatever regarding environment and whatever is happening. See, you must be aware that floods are there in Maharashtra and in Konkan region. As on today also, our 10x students and parents are there helping over there. And our parents have collected lots of funds, and we are helping all these flood affected people. So school is a part of society. I think that is the last point which we must be aware of. And by working through society, we should transform the society. Working in school, we have to transform the students, and through them, we have to transform the society. So we are not as a some different part of society. We are a part of society. We should not be away from society. So there should be connection with the school and the society. There should be activities where we will take students in society, the society people, and they should be called in the school. So interaction should be there.
Namaskar, Manoj sir, namaskar. I am very much happy that we could meet you on this virtual meet.
Yeah.
You might remember me.
Yeah. Why? Yes, sir. Why not? Yeah.
I took breakfast in your home. Few
Yes,
sitting
sir.
together and sharing our
Yes.
experiences.
Yes, sir.
This is really very great experience for us. While filling the form, we understood many things we not consider, and we neglect also many times.
Yeah.
But most of the part are very much relevant for our growth as a
Yeah.
teacher, as a part of self-evaluation and understanding our inward journey as well as outward journey. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a question in chat box. You must have read it, sir.
High expectations for all. Okay, I would say high expectations. I would say that two shades of high expectation. I will say one is that concern of quality. Whatever you do best. And second shade, I would say that think positively. Always think positively. See, it's the only teaching profession which would change the people and change society, as I said. So by high expectation, I mean these 2 points specifically. I'll just conclude with the thing that no doubt teaching is a noble profession, but I think it's very responsible profession too. We have to start with students, but we have to end with the transformation of not only student, but transformation of the school, of the education system, and the final objective of all this education is transforming society. I think from student to transformation of society is my responsibility. That should be the outcome of our self-evaluation. Thank you very much.
First of all, I would like to thank Devlekar sir for taking out his time and sharing his thoughts with us, and he explained things fantastically. So basically the topic is self-evaluation of the teacher, and basically he told us why to evaluate, how to evaluate, and what to evaluate, and he actually gave us tools for those evaluation. Those 3 Google forms were really self-reflective in themselves. It was a fantastic session, and as many have said, it was very self-reflective. So thank you again.